Nate here on the Chasing Biggins. Here to talk to you about flashers. Options are endless, and this is only a small handful. When to use what? That's the question of the day, right? There's so many options, colors, everything like that. How do you know when to do what with what? Well, let's talk about what different flashers do. And knowing what they do can ultimately help you in the long run figure out why. You know, I mean, I've got hundreds of flashers. I don't even know, maybe even more than hundreds. I'm a tackle bum. That's bad. Don't tell my wife. Actually, she knows. So how do you know? You know, you've got, you know, like this guy here, a big weenie flasher. This is always called Uncle Touchy. Got a meat rig on it. This is a new one. You know, the way that they kind of work. This, I believe, is a big Pro Troll. It's got a fin on the back. You've got a big weenie paddle right here. You've got a big beck hole right here. Old school, as we call that. A little beck hole. You know, what do all these do? Got a Pro Troll right here. Got a Spin Doctor. They make things in different sizes, different colors. Let's talk a little bit about the Spin Doctor. Spin Doctor, if you fish on Lake Michigan, and most likely all of the Great Lakes, I'm not as well versed over on Lake Ontario, these are a staple. People have boxes and boxes of them. They make the Spin Doctor in 4 different sizes. You got the little fellers, I believe that's a 6-inch. You got an 8-inch, they make a 10-inch, and they make one, I believe that one's 12 inches, and they call it the Bigfoot. I own all sizes. I use all sizes. They all have their time and place. What I find about sizes is warmer the water, the bigger I like them. You know, the Bigfoot, awesome flasher. For me, doesn't seem to work well until August. I don't know if it's a water temperature thing or maybe that big, huge rotation of it, you know, irritates those big kings a little bit more. But it does work. You do want some. I usually fish a meat rig behind those. When they're on, they're hard to beat. You know, a 10-inch. I would say that your 8 and 10 inchers are your day in, day out. I run flies or meat behind both sizes. You know, like I said, we've got a little 8-inch right here. I've got me a Dreamweaver green crinkle fly on this. Pretty good combination. Seems to work really well, especially, you know, on a sunny day. You know, I run this one a lot more in my afternoons. You know, it's already bright out. You know, it's really flashy and catches their attention. Does have a glow ladder back on it, and I have started my day, got some glow beads on it, and caught fish, you know, in the twilight hours. You know, I guess myself, I tend to lean more towards a fly on an 8-inch and a meat rig on a 10-inch. Not always the rule of thumb. I have some combinations going both directions, meat rigs on 8 inches, flies on 10 inches. But I guess if I go through all my boxes of stuff, that's what you'll see. You'll see that general combination. You know, they've got them kind of set up, you know, set up for salmon trolling right off the get. You know, you've got 2 different eyelets up here. Almost everyone, actually everyone I think I've ever gotten from Dreamweaver or purchased from the store is always rigged to the top eyelet, and that's for your faster speeds. If you want to slow troll with these things, you know, just unclip it and go back down to that next clip down. It'll give it a little bit wider, a little bit slower rotation. I have done that sometimes. Maybe don't tell everybody, but with lake trout, especially if I'm trying to troll in that 1/8-ish, I have made that work pretty darn well, actually. The same is on the back of the Spin Doctor. You've got the fin, the double fins right here that catch the water and, you know, help this thing rotate and kick as it goes. The faster you trolling, the more kick it'll have. Well, the way that this is set up, you got the fins that come out, you got the hole here. So it spins like this, and this, when you have it clipped on this side, it'll give you more of an action around that Spin Doctor, where if you clip it on the opposite sides of these fins, it'll be a little tighter of a spin. It won't travel that whole distance with it. Your leader length on your flies and meat rigs can make a difference on how much it spins also. Again, pretty much everybody runs them the way that they come out of the store, with the clip on the fin side and on the first hole. I have done it the other way. I've done it both the other directions, especially with lake trout, and get this thing just kind of a smaller, tighter spin, even trolling faster. It kind of doesn't, I don't know. You got to troll slower with it. Now, I have taken with a fly, I've not had very much success putting it on the other side of the fly. I like to keep it on the fin side for more kick, but I do have a few of them rigged up with a meat rig where I do put it on the, I kind of call it the inside one, where it's not spinning as much and it's a little bit softer of an action. It does seem to work out really well. So there's kind of a brief rundown on the Dreamweaver Spin Doctors. We will end up doing another video. We're going to talk all about flies, and we're going to probably do a video all talking all about meat rigs. So there'll be a lot more to it. Right now we're just going to cover the flashers. Right here. Well, you know what? We'll stick with Dreamweaver for a minute. Big paddles, 11-inch paddles, big rotators. Not too much to know about them. Put them in the water, big spin to them, a little bit of wobble in there. I do run them with meat rigs a little bit, but I tend to run these with flies. Just what works for me. I'm not saying anybody's wrong doing anything different. I do have a couple set up with trout rigs with some spinning glows. And I do have a few with meat rigs. It's something I'm playing more with, trying to build my confidence with. I think there's something there, but nice and simple. What I do find with these is, most of the time I run these big flashers behind a low diver or on a rigger. And when I put it on a rigger, I can control the distance behind the ball. The shorter the distance, the faster that thing will spin and tighter. The farther, the bigger and slower it'll spin. That's a matter of figuring out what the fish wants. It's a guesswork. I move my stuff around a lot. So 40 foot's kind of my favorite number. I will run it 40 feet behind. If it's not getting bit, or I'm watching fish chase it up in my rigger and not eating it, maybe I'll move that thing up to 15 or 20 feet. Maybe I'll slide it out to 60 feet. I will play with them. I play with those things all the time in the fact of I want to figure out what it's going to take to work. If I move that thing short, it doesn't work. Obviously medium didn't work. I move it to long, it doesn't work. I'm firing it and I'm getting a different color down there. Or maybe putting a meat rig on. So those are the Dreamweavers. Also have a smaller flasher like it. Matter of fact, they probably should have got one out. They got the big paddles. Well, they got a small paddle, an 8-inch version of that. They've also got a new one where they've got the fin here that can clip in and out. So it can be more of a wobble or more of a rotator. Pretty cool deal, actually. Something I'm playing with. I got a lot of friends catching fish on them, and I need to pick up my A game, not gonna lie to you. Let's go into a simple one. The Big Weenie. Like I said, this one's Uncle Touchy. Big Weenie makes a big paddle like the Dreamweavers. I'm kind of a fan of the Dreamweaver, but they do work. This is what we call a fish blade. Same kind of thing. Used to be back in the day, you buy these in packs of 2s, and one would spin one way and the other would spin the other way, so you put them on your low divers. Seems like that's kind of faded away down to just the basic fish paddle. A lot of companies make them. They seem to work really good. I kind of think that they kind of have a little bit more kick to them. When they spin, the Spin Doctor stays pretty consistent. These kind of come through and kick a little bit more. Man, there's days that you want these. They work. The Big Weenie ones, there's several other companies that make them. They all can be very, very good. All different colors. I got glow ones, I've got shiny ones, I've got green ones, blue ones, red ones. I've got them all. But it seems to work really good. I tend to fish these more with a meat rig than I do a fly. I don't know why. I just don't seem to put a fly on them too often. But it's something I'm playing with, and I've got a couple combinations that are working pretty good. Big paddles. You don't see too many. I believe this is a Pro Troll, if I'm correct. Yes, it is. Pro Troll. Yep, with the E-chip. That has the fin on it. Helps it catch more water and spin a little bit more. So, when you go in comparing the two, you can see One has the fin, one does not. There's times that seems to really make a difference. And there's times that it hurts. This one seems to work really good in August, later in July, but so does the other big paddle. I don't know, just when there's mature kings around, these big 11-inch flashers, I really like them on a rigger and a low diver. I have gotten crazy and I've ran them on, 400, 500 coppers. My first mates love when I do that, but when it comes into the fish, nobody complains. So, but again, I tend to stick with flies on these. I'm kind of trying to broaden my horizon and go into some meat rigs, and I am having success with those, and lots to learn, but we're getting there. But, there is a difference, and I'm here to tell you these things with these fins, man, they have their days. Last but not least, you got your beck holds. Oh, I shouldn't say last but not least. There's hordes of them out there, different flashers. We're covering just the basics. I haven't even dug into my boxes to get all the different company ones out. I'm just kind of trying to go through the styles. You got beck holds, okay? I got to pair them with some flies on here. They have the fin on them to rotate, to catch water and help them rotate. These are now considered old school. This was the deal 20 years ago. You couldn't fish Lake Michigan if you didn't have the beck hold fish catcher. They kind of faded out. Well, amongst my friends at least, they're starting to make a comeback. They got one clip on the front, pretty simple. Now on the very back of it, you have got 3 holes here. So the side with the fin, lots of action. Medium action, light action. I do play around on which one that I have it pegged in. I do lean towards the side with the fin on. I like that little bit more kick to it. I have had days with the medium and the lighter action to them. With flies, I pretty much always stick to this side, but with meat rigs, I will play around with it. So I hope this helps you out a little bit, kind of a little rundown of some different flashers. Sorry for every company I left out of there. They all make good stuff, and I probably own most of it anyway. This is just the different styles. So thank you. If you like what you see, follow us, subscribe to us. We're gonna have more coming.